still just scheduled. Oh, we're live. We are live. Finally. So, welcome everyone. We are doing a live about It All Starts with Touch. And I'm Katarina Wallentin, and I am joined by two of my amazing friends, Camila and Dorota, or Doris. I never really know what to call her, but it's something like that, something similar. And we wanted to dive in to this topic today and see where we can take it in like 10, 15 minutes. So if you have time, come join us. And if you're listening after, that's awesome too. Welcome.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my first question is I know you so well, many years, and for me, you are like Access certified facilitator. You working with body as a 3D body facilitator, and you amazing with SOP sessions. And for me, it's really amazing how touch is your specialty, because for me you are I realize that you are working with something else, but maybe there is some common SOP, touch, 3D body class. Can you say something about that?
Yes. Hello. Well, you can actually be a specialist in a lot of different things, you know,
I
it's like
know.
a jack of all trades. And well, for me, touch is actually the either you can call it the thing in between bodies and energies, or it's the thing that connects bodies and energies in different ways. Touch is really the it's when energy, if we go for the physical touch, like if we just go for that one first, it's basically when energy kind of two slow down energies meet up and actually connect in some way and create some kind of metamorphosis, some kind of chemistry in that moment. The molecules meet and something is created in the moment of touch. And we call this in the big, it all starts with touch, because it really like it's the first of your five or even actually six senses that we have. The first sense that you develop as a baby is touch. That's how you start, like, you know, when you're a baby, you just like start exploring the world. You touch your mother's face, or you start touching different fabrics or things around you. This is, you know, this is hard, this is soft, this is
Mhm.
warm, this is cold. So for me, that when I started to explore bodies and when I started to explore energies, both of those went through touch. For me, in the beginning, energy, the clearest way I could perceive energy was through touch. I could start to perceive an energy through touching someone else, or touching another body, or touching a tree, or touching something like that. And after a while, working with bodies a lot, I start to learn through access and through our body classes and all of that, that there's subtle bodies, which is really all the energetic bodies that we have around us, and that I could touch them too. I could touch the subtle bodies. It didn't need to be a physical touch. There's all this energy to be touched around a body. And then when you start adding the whole symphony to it, you're literally touching people's whole universes. So so we're all made of energy. So
Mhm.
whatever you touch is going to be energetic. But this particular, when you're saying why do you have this specialty, like, it's called art of touch. Well, for me, it's a way in to our bodies. It's a way into our consciousness. It's a way in to the energetic universes that we get to play with. And touch is like the most simple thing we have. We have our hands. I mean, you can touch with any part of your body, but if we just go for the hands, like
Mhm.
they're available all the time. We can explore with them all the time. And yet, touch has been so, it's so surrounded by definitions, conclusions, judgments of what's the right kind of touch, wrong kind of touch, who can you touch, who can you not touch, who are you supposed to touch, who are not supposed to touch, who are you supposed to feel when you touch, who are you supposed to feel when you are touched. It has so much of that that we get caught up here when it comes to touch. Well, touch really is like a straight, like that's where you can't use your mind. You will use your knowing, you will use your all your different senses, and you will use your awareness to guide the world if you allow
Mhm.
to use this like superpower,
Mhm.
touch. So in, in the classes, it's even like in the beginning, it was a lot about the physical touch, and that's still part of it. But a lot of it is also about the energetic touch. It's about um, even the kind of like you can look at somebody and touch their very core of their being, like literally touch somebody through your eyes. You're still touching them. It's
Mhm.
just a different kind of touch. You can touch somebody by the most beautiful sound. You're using another senses, but you're still touching them with that vibration, with that frequency. So in the classes, it's really about learning how to navigate touch and how to explore it and how to enjoy it and how to say no to the things you don't enjoy. Because that no is actually how you start saying yes.
Mm,
When you get to the no, you can start saying yes.
yes.
Back to you.
When
So
you start to talk about it, in my universe, what so it we need to have high level of intimacy with us and with other people to have this kind of touch. What you are talking about, I can say.
No, and it's a great question and awareness, Camilla. That's because if you look at it, it's one of the key parts of touch is to have the five elements of intimacy. So you need to be able to have gratitude, vulnerability, allowance, trust in everything that you do, like in everything how you interact. And so the first step to get to having ease with touch and kind of grasping ease doesn't mean you have to love all touch, right? So if you look at that, like if you look at the five elements of intimacy, and let's pick a few of them because we don't have time to go through all of them. But so if you look at, for example, honoring is a huge part of exploring touch. And honoring means that you honor you honor the other person if there's another person involved in the touching, and you are that's where a lot of us have gotten kind of like off with touch because we haven't been honored. We have been dishonored, or we haven't honored. We've dishonored, and then we feel really bad and judge ourselves for it after. It goes all kinds of ways. So, honoring, like learning how to say yes and learning how to say no, is a part of honoring you and honoring other people. And if you go, then you can go to vulnerability. Vulnerability is essential in all kind of touch, because if you are not willing to be vulnerable with what comes up or what you're perceiving and receiving in that moment, you
Mhm.
cannot be present for what comes next. And really, any touch is like a dance in the universe. So it starts like it starts with maybe one kind of touch. And I'm not even going to the sexual part now. I just mean like any kind of touch that you are playing with the whatever kind of person that involves. It starts with a touch, and then you actually are vulnerable enough to be aware, does this person want me to continue to hold their hand or not? Does this person like me to hug him or her or hen? I'm gonna be
Mhm.
um longer, or does this person, are we done now, or does this person actually need me to hug him or her and a little longer, even though it doesn't seem like it, because that's what's really required. Like reading the energy of the touch requires the vulnerability to receive a yes or a no or a maybe or a confusion or whatever is going on in that moment. And that, when you get more ease with, like you say, the five elements of intimacy, but also with your own points of views, your own preferences when it comes to touch, you have so much more ease reading the language of touch. And that's when you have that, when you're able to read the language of touch, you will know within like a split second if this is something, well, basically, where the energy is going now. It's like you're following this third force, like you're following something forward. You're following the energetic movement when you can read the language of touch.
Mhm. Amazing.
so if I may ask, because when I'm listening to you speaking about it, it like melts each part of my body. And for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like it's almost like we're we're coming back to the basics of how we should function, and what we should follow in interactions, because it's not only about how we touch, but also how we allow to be touched, how we communicate through touch.
Mm. I love how you say you're melting, because you look like you're melting in Thailand too. From the heat, you're like melting in all kinds of ways. You're being touched by the heat.
Oh,
No,
oh yeah.
and you're very correct. And this is also where I think that when sometimes for me in these classes, a lot of things come up for people, because you can work a lot with the verbal processing, and you can Access has amazing verbal processing, and what's added in these classes is the actual practice where you get to touch and be touched in different ways, and really very simple, not in anything that really challenges. It's enough to evoke something for you to get the sense of what actually happens when somebody touches you. You don't need to go the full way to know what it brings up. And when you get there, you get access to what you were talking about, all the presumptive realities we have about touch, all the everything we already put in place, the definitions, the conclusions of what we like, what we don't like, what we can do, what we can't do, and all the need of reactive realities that then are attached to like the presumptions we have about it. So once you know, anything you become aware of, you can change. Anything you become aware you can change. It's only the things you're not able to access, the things you're not able to become aware of, that you can change, or that you don't have ease and clarity with. So it's not about making people like masters of touch. That's not really what this is about. It's about getting people to what's true for them about touch, and having ease with actually exploring that. So it's like you say, it's kind of like back to the innocence before you bought all the different conclusions that we have about touch. And where would you like to go then? It's like a reset, a restart of that. And what I find is that it allows people to become empowered in a whole different way. And similar to the body classes, where your body is actually part of the whole, exploration of awareness. Like you go on this journey with your body towards more consciousness together. And here you do that by using the physical touch, and by using the different ways we touch each other, and finding out what is true for me in this area, and what would I like to. So many people tend to just avoid touch because they don't know how to handle it. And so many people have touch on automatic. There's certain, like they're like masters of touch, but only in the specific way they decided is okay. And in that area, they're great. But there's such a wide universe of touch available, that if we undid all the conclusions that we had around it, all the presumptive realities, we could start playing. Gary once told me that I asked why people had such a, like, why are there so many points of views around touch, and why is it such a big topic? It should be so natural. We all touch things and people all the time. And he said, touch is one of the organs of the body where you get the most information from. You have so many different ways of receiving information from just the simple act of touching someone or something. So people avoid it because they don't want to be that aware. So
and on the other hand, there are so many things and judgments attached to what we perceive. At the same time, what I can say at the end is like, I'm sorry, I've been to this class when you were in Poland, and for me, what's there are many things that I was amazed with, but the actual exercises, the actual one by one possibilities to to embody, to exercise, to see, to experience how you are in this. You with your body. And that's something that is mind-blowing.
It is magical, actually. And it's such a, you can get so far so quickly by using touch. And the gift we can give each other in those practices, and how we work with the access tools in those practices, blows me away every time. And it's like you say, it's beautiful. And it's very few things that can give you that sense of immediate, oh, this is how I function with this. Now I can allow myself to actually choose something different. So yeah. I'm thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you so much, Katarina. We can talk, I think, many hours here about touch, but we don't have so many times. But we would love to inform you that for 13th and 14th of April, Katarina is coming to Poland with 2-day Art of Touch class. So everyone is invited. And we would love to say that this first time Katarina will be doing the 2-day class. So amazing. But before that, we would love to invite you for few conversation like that, like today, to get more what we can find with this class, with this touch. Yeah.
And the next one is so conveniently, it's on February 13th, the day before Valentine's. So if you come then, we may have some Valentine's advice about touch, exploring
tips. Yes.
Until then.
Yeah.
Maybe more about romantic touch at that time.
Ooh. Who knows?
We will see you then, and you will find out.
Yes. So most welcome. Just note in your calendar, 13th of February. Also, I think this same time. Yeah, come and play, listen. If you have any question, you can also write to us, to me, Camila Dolota, to Doris, to Beata, or to Katarina also. And just
and
play.
You can also, and you can also find, if you want to find out more about your touch, you can go to katarinawallentin.com/Poland, and then you find everything about the class. And I really look forward to the 13th, so we can get even further in.
Thank you, Katarina, for today. It was amazing, and we can't wait for next.
To melt our bodies again.
Yes.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.